Today we're going to be talking about the transportation system in Germany. I know I haven't given a very in-depth analysis of the transportation system, and I do know that a lot of people that come to Germany, especially those that are coming from Africa, the transportation system there is different from what we have in Germany, and so it's very possible that you've lost your way a couple of times.
I've gotten this several years. There was even a time I thought I was going to my village. They just kept going.
Or you found it difficult understanding the way the trains work and what kind of train you need to take to go to your destination. I'm hoping that at the end of this video, you'll be able to have more confidence in taking the transportation in Germany and to also be able to plan your trips more efficiently and successfully. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. Hey guys, welcome to Ada's Place. My name is Ada and I'm a Nigerian living in Germany, and I like to create content about my life here in Germany, the information I've gathered so far, and some things that I think might be useful or particularly helpful to you if you are living in Germany or you hope to move to Germany in the near future. So if this is the kind of content you want to be receiving, including some of my exciting vlogs, please do well to hit on the subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so that whenever I post new content, you will be notified. And yeah, let's go into the topic of today. Hi guys, good morning. In this video, we're going to talk about the public transport system in Germany with reference to Berlin, because that's where I stay. Before we talk about the German public transport system, it's very important that I break it down into 4 different sections. First, we have the trains, next we have the buses, then we have the subways, and we have the bicycles and scooters. First things first, let's start with the trains. Now, you have probably heard about Deutsche Bahn or DB, and if you haven't heard about Deutsche Bahn, it's important for you to know that Deutsche Bahn is the national railway operator in Germany. They have different types of trains that go or travel around different cities, different states, different locations in Germany, and to some extent outside of Germany as well. I would say 3 different types of trains that run under the Deutsche Bahn. The first one is the ICE. The ICE is also known as the Intercity Express. It's usually for long distance travels, and it's the fastest train that they have here in Germany. Next is the RE, also known as the Regional Express. With the Regional Express, you can go into different cities, but usually it's not as fast as the ICE. And most times when you have the transportation subsidies that are applied to tickets, for example, currently we have the 49 euro ticket. It usually applies to the regional trains and the other types of trains, but not necessarily the ICE. The ICE is more like a touche, beautiful, posh type of train. It's usually more expensive than all other types of trains, but for the regional trains, it's usually slower. Most times when there are train delays, it's usually the regional trains. However, they are always readily available at some point, and they're usually the cheaper and the most crowded type of trains. Tell me you live in Germany without telling me. In fact, tell me you use DB without telling me you use DB. By the way, DB is Deutsche Bahn. As you can see, I'm waiting for the train. I see. Let me zoom in a bit. Yes, IC246 is supposed to have been here at 12:06. Right now, it's 12:07 or even 12:08. I'm not completely sure, but it's way past 12:06, and it's not here yet, because there is a delay. This is another train going to Frankfurt Oder. It is a regular RE, that's a regional train. Now, apart from that, we have the S-Bahn. S-Bahn usually goes within a city. I would like to give an example of, where I live here in Berlin. With the S-Bahn, I can go from one corner of Berlin to the other. However, with the regional train, I can go from Berlin to a nearby city. And with the ICE, I can go from Berlin to an even further city in Germany, but faster. So if, for example, you want to go from, say, Berlin-Neukölln to Ostbahnhof, for example, what you should be looking out for is either taking S-Bahn. Depending on how fast you have to go, sometimes regional trains can even take you to different other major train stations within a city. However, you should also be careful to know that because they are faster than S-Bahns, they might not stop at the train station you want to stop at.
I've gotten missing severally in this Berlin. It has been a case of I was dropped at the wrong direction or my network goes off, then I'm stranded. There was even a time I thought I was going to my village. They just kept going. But the ones that hit me hard were the ones, there was a particular one that I was going home, so my phone went off. And you know, most of us don't know our German numbers of heart,
Me too, even up till now. Like, so I find it difficult to even remember.
You know, so this is my husband's one. I don't know it of heart, So I was stuck. I didn't know if to go this direction or this direction. In a nutshell, they took me to the far end of the other road, and I was actually going this way.
Really?
I tell you.
This is why you need to check what direction is going, and then the map and the stops. Because I lived in China for a while, I knew a little bit about how to enter this kind of, public transport thing. Because they also use numbers to enter public transport there. Also, when I came in, I was a student, and I refused to use money to buy data when I'm on the road. Because I'm like, in my school, there's data at home, there's data, so no need to buy extra data, right? So each time when I'm leaving the house, I'll check where I'm going to before I go out.
There you go.
Sometimes when you're now on the road, the map will not go off.
Especially, or let there be construction. That's when you will not know.
You will not know the one to enter. Oh my God, missing a couple times. So. Now, talking about understanding the train schedules. For me personally, I used Google Maps in order to find my way around, to know the kind of train I need to take or the kind of public transportation I need to take, depending on where I'm going to. However, I do know there are various other applications that you can use that are more reliable than the Google app. For me, I use Google Maps because, habits, and it's easier, and I don't want to download 10,000 apps. Additionally, if you're going for long distance trains, so not necessarily the regional or the S-Bahn trains, it's important that you check your route on the Deutsche Bahn website, and also if you use the Deutsche Bahn app, that could also help for you to get or to check your connection and when to leave the train and when to take a new train and so on and so forth. So let's talk about how to understand this map. Now, I'm not an expert, so just in case I make a mistake when I'm talking about this, don't come for me, but this is how I have been able to read the map since I came here whenever I need to understand the map. So first off, you need to understand there are 3 zones in Berlin. You have zone A, zone B, zone C. Most people live within zone A and zone B. However, sometimes you have to buy tickets to zone C. So let's take a closer look and then I show you. So the zone A is everywhere inside the ring. The zone B is usually outside of the ring, but even a bit further. And most times when you want to buy a ticket, you buy based on your zone, either zone AB or zone BC, or in some cases ABC. Of course, the prices differ. So everywhere within Berlin is zone B. Now, zone C is usually the outskirts of Berlin. So the Flughafen Berlin is in zone C. The Blankenfelde is in zone C. Potsdam Hauptbahnhof
Potsdam
is also in zone C. So these are places that are around Brandenburg areas, and they are outside of Berlin generally.
I didn't know this before.
Now you do. This is why you should like and subscribe to Ada's Place. We give you the tea. Now let's move on to buses. For the buses, we also have intercity and the regional buses. The intercity buses, those ones are everywhere because they are the ones that we particularly use, especially when you're in areas where the S-Bahn is a bit of a walk from your residence. Please look behind me. That is the bus station. Here, you don't chase for buses, you wait for the bus to come to you. So once you get here, you just wait at the bus station. The buses right now on the other side, they are there, some of them. Another thing too you also need to understand is that, I mean, in my own experience, the buses are the most unreliable when it comes to transportation or moving around Germany. Anytime I'm going to an unfamiliar route and I have to take a bus, I try as much as possible to avoid taking a bus. I'd rather take an S-Bahn or a U-Bahn. That's because, first off, it can be very confusing to find the bus station, and because they come in 10 to 20 minutes. If you miss it, you have to wait for a very, very long time, which can make you even go late to wherever it is you're supposed to go to.
In some locations, buses is all you have.
Exactly.
So if buses are all you have, then you might just need to learn how it works, which is 20 minutes apart.
I can tell you for free, you cannot learn how that thing works. Because then you feel you're getting it right.
Okay, so this is the code that they're using for buses.
give us the tea.
So if your bus tells you, or if Google Map tells you that to get your destination with a bus takes you 20 minutes, you are just going to add the 20 minutes it takes for the next bus to arrive.
So altogether 40 minutes.
So you just have in mind that to get your destination is 40 minutes. Plus or minus, it has to be 40 minutes.
Why will I be getting to a place that's normally supposed to take me like 10 minutes?
Just bear in mind 40 minutes. So with that in mind, you now know that, okay, sometimes I might get there way earlier, sometimes exact on time. So for me, even I will not even make it that 40 minutes. I will add 5 minutes because of logistics.
It's just a mess with them. But when they are available, they really, really help, and you don't have to walk the long distance to get where you're going to. The next transportation type are the subways and the light rail, also known as trams. Now, the easiest way to differentiate is that the S-Bahn usually travels above the ground and the U-Bahn goes on the ground. The U-Bahns are very notorious in Berlin because especially the U8 is very chaotic, but it's fun. It's fun. And I personally think that they are the fastest when it comes to going, intercity or interstate. So yeah, this is a typical underground. Most times you find them under the station. That's where you enter them, and they go to like different nooks and crevices of the city. Sometimes some of them go a little bit above, especially U2 goes a little bit above, but typically they are all underground trains. Do you also agree that they are the fastest?
U-Bahn is faster.
Me too. I think U-Bahn is also faster.
Why? Because most times, Google Map will tell you like the time is going to take you to get. I usually get earlier with U-Bahn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Me too. And U-Bahns, the wait period is usually shorter.
Yeah,
I think at most is 10 minutes. Some of them come 5 minutes, some of them come 3 minutes.
Most of the time.
Most of them 3 minutes.
But you see S-Bahn.
I'm ready. Although they are very uncomfortable because sometimes you can hardly breathe in there because it's underground. It doesn't have a lot of fresh breeze coming in. However, they are more reliable. So if you have a U-Bahn option where you're going to, I think it's faster for you to get there with an U-Bahn. The trams are usually on the road, like their rails are on the road with cars. One thing I actually noticed is that in the western part of Berlin, you have more buses that go into places where there are no S-Bahns. However, in the eastern part of Berlin, we have trams that go into places where S-Bahns are far from the residents or within proximity, so to speak. So I guess the trams, you can find them more in the eastern part of Berlin, while the buses, you can find them more in the western part of Berlin. Of course, before you take any of the transport systems in Germany, you have to get a ticket. Now, there are different kinds of tickets that you can use depending on your situation or how frequently you use any of these transportation systems. The most common one, I guess, or the one that I use is the yearly ticket. Now, the reason I subscribe for this is because every single day, I'm using the public transport because I go to work every day. Even if I don't go to work, I probably have somewhere else to be. And it's cheaper for me to get the yearly ticket. Now, they don't deduct the money from me at one go. Each month they debit me. a certain amount, and this is particularly cheaper in comparison to the monthly ticket. I mean, at the time it used to be 60 something euro, I think about 65 euros thereabout, while the monthly ticket was about 80 something euro. That's almost 20 euro difference if you do the plus and minus. So I'm going to show you guys how to buy a ticket here. So as I said, we have the AB zone, BC zone, ABC.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use the normal, the mostly used one, which is the AB zone.
Yeah.
And you have, actually, let me change the language to English before we embarrass ourselves. So, so you can get a monthly ticket here. You can get a short trip. You can get a short trip ticket and get for tourism and for events. The prices all differ. Then you can get a single ticket. Single tickets usually goes for just one direction, and I think it lasts for typically 4 hours. The 4-trip ticket, I'm not completely sure what that means, but I guess it's for 4 trips.
I know what it means. Yeah, I bought that before. Yeah, 4-trip ticket means that you buy 4-trip tickets. Yeah, like it could be tow, it could be fro, whatever. Yeah. Then you activate at will. Yeah, when you need it. So I'm going out. You activate one. When you come in, you activate the other.
Because I didn't even know what that meant. Then the 24-hour ticket, of course, is for the whole day. So in case you're in Berlin for a whole day, or maybe you came here for an event and you don't want to be caught on time and all of that, so then just buy like a whole day ticket. Same thing here. There are even other tickets. You can buy a 7-day ticket. Really, the list literally goes on and on. They have the standard fare and the reduced fare. The price is different. For a standard fee, it's €3.50. For a reduced fee, it's €2.50. The reduced fare are mostly for kids, I believe, from below the ages of 12 and under. If you're like me, please go for the standard fare. Don't go for the reduced one. If you're a well-mature adult and you go for a reduced fare ticket and you're caught, you will pay fine.
Yeah.
You also have several tickets if it's for more than one person, so you can choose how many you want. So I have a yearly card I'm charged monthly on, so I don't have to go through all of this. But if, for instance, you don't have that card, or you don't have the monthly card or the yearly card, this is also online. So you can also do this online.
Yeah.
But if you are maybe you're new and you don't have the facilities or the equipment to do any of the things online, this is what you typically do. So if you click for this one, you go to pay with either coins or you pay with a card.
MasterCard. Huh?
Yeah. So with your card, I guess you just put it in here. Oh yeah. And then you put in your password. They're printing the voucher. They'll even tell you to give a review. What review do you think we should give? Very safe. Say, how safe do you personally feel in this subway station? I would say I feel very safe.
Very safe. I feel very.
You might say differently if you go to U8.
This one.
I feel very safe. This is what the ticket looks like.
Yeah.
You can see it's a Berlin
AB.
Berlin AB is for one single trip. And then they say, please validate. Getting this ticket is not enough. You also have to validate. When we talk about validation, what it means is that you can buy a ticket, but if you don't, especially if it's a paper ticket or a ticket that you get out of the counter, if you don't put it through that machine that makes it do like the click sound, that validation gives the ticket its value, so to speak. We move to this tiny machine here. You put it in. It has validated it.
Oh, yeah.
And by validating, it gives you the date and the time when the ticket was purchased.
Bought, yeah.
If you don't do this and you enter the train and you get caught,
you pay fine.
You pay fine. When we say fine, how much are we talking about here? You see this ticket, I bought like 3.5 euros. You pay 60 euros fine if you're caught without this. One thing that I have really, really understood and also appreciate so much about living in Germany is that no matter the kind of public transport you choose to opt for, you can use one ticket. By one ticket, I mean one company. For example, we have the Deutsche Bahn and we have the BVG. Again, I also like to point out that the tram and the buses, all those public systems that are in yellow, are run by BVG, while the Deutsche Bahn, also known as DB, runs the S-Bahn and the regional trains. So you can use a Deutsche Bahn ticket to the S-Bahn, which is a Deutsche Bahn particular kind of train, or the bus, which is under BVG, or the tram and the U-Bahn, which is also under BVG. It's a bit complicated, but the most important takeout for you is to understand that if you have either the Deutsche Bahn or the BVG ticket, you can use any of these two means of transportation or any of the various means of transportation. And then if we talk about bicycles and scooters, they are not under the public transport. The reason I still personally categorize them under public transport is because you can easily rent any of these bicycles. These are mostly electric bicycles and scooters. They have various providers and you can use their app to open it and use it anywhere around. They are very comfortable, of course. They still take you faster, but you have to always be very careful when you're using any of these bicycles, and always use the bicycle lanes because that's what they're there for. This bicycle track, most times, the bicycle tracks are either painted a different color from the normal road, or they have the symbol of the bicycle on it. People, when they drive this in the craze normally, so you have to also be very careful.
Yes, so when they give you that, they are tom-tom.
You have to be very careful if you're walking on this bike. In fact, it's advisable not to walk on the bicycle track at all. If you watch the video to this point and you find it very, very helpful, please give it a like, a thumbs up. Please share it with your friends. Even if you don't want to subscribe, I really appreciate if you give this video a like, because it pushes the video to other people that are looking for similar content. It also helps me bring information to people that will find it very, very useful. If you have any question, please put it in the comment section. I go through my comment section, or even somebody else within the Others Place clan or Others Place family can also go through and answer any questions that you have. I would actually like to hear what stories you've had, or what bad experiences or even good experiences you've had using the public transportation system in Germany, not just in Berlin, whatever city you're in. Let's share our experiences in the comment section, because I'm sure it's one hell of an experience. I mean, I mentioned that for me, I got lost a couple of times when I was in the public transport system. Sometimes I would take the wrong bus that's not going to my direction, and so on and so forth. So yeah, let's share in the comment section, and yeah, I will see you in my next video. Thank you very much. Bye.